ESPN, the world leader in motorsports coverage, presents Speed World. Just 30 miles south of Atlanta, Georgia, lies the newly refurbished Atlanta Motor Speedway, a 1.5-mile high-banked oval, site of today's ARCA Atlanta Journal 500K, a 312-mile, 204-lap finale for the 1990 ARCA season. Hello, everyone. I'm Jerry Punch, along with two-time NASCAR champion Ned Jarrett, and we've got a great one for you today. 68 cars on hand to make a 42-car field. So much competition just in qualifying to get into today's starting lineup. And Ned, with all that competition, we have a wide variety of drivers in both age and experience.
And talk about experience, Robbie Gordon, who won the pole, has no experience on an oval track, while on the outside of the front row is Charlie Glotzback, who has a tremendous amount of experience. He's 52 years old. Then starting on the inside of the second row, Greg Trammell doesn't have a lot of experience, especially on the super speedways. Then on the outside is veteran Bill Venturini. And Jimmy Horton starting in the number 5 position, a driver who's on the way up. He's won 5 of the ARCA Super Speedway races so far this year. So you look all back through the field, and yes, there is a variety of experience, and I think it'll cause a variety of action on the racetrack too.
Indeed it will, and what a difference a year makes. A year ago, 43-year-old Bob Brebeck came in here with a slim 15-point lead over Bob Keselowski. He left here having lost the series championship by 65 points to Keselowski. Not so today. Brebeck leads by 310 points over second-place Keselowski in the ARCA point standings. All he has to do is crank it up, and they will begin the celebration in pit road. Isn't that right, Benny Parsons?
Jerry, as Bob Brebeck rolled down pit road, this is the sign that wife Shelley and the crew showed him. Congratulations, ARCA champion. The end of a season, 18 races, Brebeck is the champion. But another career is starting. Robbie Gordon on the pole, his first oval track ever. He has been running road races for Jack Roush this year. Won 5 IMSA road races, but never on an oval track. Is this too much pressure for Rob Gordon? Just think about this. Last year, he went to Sebring, Florida, to a Jack Roush gong show. 10 drivers, the fastest driver got a car to drive. Robbie Gordon was the fastest of the 10 to get the Jack Roush ride. He knows about pressure.
Indeed he does, Benny Parsons, and remember that the first time he drove that road racing car for Jack Roush, 24 hours of Daytona, he won it. His first time out. Can he do it today? Well, let's take a look at our Sears Die-Hard starting grid. There's the youngster Robbie Gordon along with Charging Charlie Glotzback in row 1. Greg Trammell, another young driver, and the veteran former series champion Bill Venturini. Back to row 3, the 5-time winner this year, Jimmy Horton, the reigning champion Bob Keselowski. Dorsey Schrader also making his first oval track start, and a young short track ace, Dale McDowell. Row 5, Chris Gerke, a great young driver, and Ben Hess, a former winner here at Atlanta. As you look at the rest of the starting lineup, Ned, a lot of experienced drivers starting back in the field who didn't qualify that well.
Yes, and I think we'll see some of those coming up through the field, Jared, especially Tracy Leslie, who is starting back there in the 9th row. Drivers like that, Scott Stovall has a lot of experience on this type of track. I think we will see him come up through the pack.
42 cars on hand for this ARCA finale. As you look at the remainder of the starting lineup, we'll get back after this with the starting laps here from Atlanta Motor Speedway. Stay with us. Getting set for green flag racing. Remember, 500 kilometers on a 1.5-mile track translates to 204 laps, or 312 miles. 24-degree banking here. The track, a lot of turn, Ned, very little straightaway.
Each straightaway only takes up a 1/4 of a mile, so that means each turn takes up a 1/2 mile. So yes, you are in turn quite a bit. So handling characteristics of a car are very important, but horsepower counts a lot here too, Jerry.
Got to get them dialed in. Come off the 24-degree banking. Ford safety car pulls down. Glotzback, and the youngster Robbie Gordon takes the first time. He will take the green flag on an oval track, and Glotzback pulls him by a car length towards turn 1.
Yeah, it's somewhat of a weird start there, Jerry. Normally, you don't see them jump out that much at the start of the race. I think they started a little farther up the track than maybe the ARCA officials would like for them to have taken the green flag.
Side-by-side action, young Greg Trammell in the car number 18. We got a couple of cars heavy impact. Cecil Eunice involved in the middle of the back straightaway. Other cars spinning. 2, 3, 4 cars, 5 cars involved. Mark Gibson, one of the cars, his Pontiac hard into the outside wall back there. That's Cecil Eunice's car sitting in the left of your screen. Car number 47 of Buddy Geiger has come to rest there. His safety crew is moving very quickly onto the scene.
Looks like H.P. Bailey's car number 36 also sitting in the track, Jerry.
First caution of the afternoon. Heavy, hard impact. There's H.P. Bailey's car number 36, the Almeida Auto Parts entry, veteran from Texas. Let's take a look again at what happened just moments ago.
It looks like a couple of cars got together as they came off of turn 2. Cecil Eunice being one of those cars, the car number 31. And as they banged against each other and on the track, a lot of traffic behind them, Jerry, and they began to get together, and that's where we see more cars get involved in the two that originally started it.
Well, it looked like Mark Gibson and Cecil Eunice were the two cars that came together initially. Gibson, who started 28th, Eunice started 25th. Gibson, who finished second in this race in the spring in the ARCA. That's Gibson's car left your screen, his Pontiac with heavy front end damage. A great move there. One car just getting through. There's Don LeDuc's car, the white car coming through. So is Bob Dotter. Safety crews are attending to Cecil Eunice. As he now climbs out of his car, the driver from Blackshear, Georgia, seems to be okay. Already excitement here in the early laps of this ARCA Atlanta Journal 500K. Stay with us. We'll be back after this.
Mark Gibson in 59, Tom Bigelow in car number 60, and David Elliott in car number 61.
Now, 4 of those 6 cars have retired. Bigelow and Geiger are back on the racetrack. Their cars are damaged as we get set to go back to green flag racing here. Green flag being waved.
Boy, look at Charlie Glotzback with another big jump in the black Chevrolet.
That's where he got his name, Charging Charlie Glotzback from Sellersburg, Indiana. 52 years of age. A lot of experience in that race car. The car owned by Floyd Garrett Trucking, former Richard Childress owned car.
Here's Ben Hess making a move on Jimmy Horton. Hess in the Sports Image car number 40 down on the inside. Horton in the Pontiac number 80 on the outside, still side by side as they come off turn 4.
Both former winners here at Atlanta Motor Speedway. Horton won it here in the spring. Of course, after making a string 5 consecutive Super Speedway wins. Set an all-time ARCA record. We're talking about Jimmy Horton in the car number 80 there on the left of your screen. His Pontiac. Then the car number 40. That's a Chevrolet Lumina for Ben Hess, who won here back in the spring of 1989. That's the battle for 6th and 7th spot. Just in front of them is the 5th place car, Bob Keselowski. That's the black Chevrolet Beretta that's going out of your screen. But Horton and Hess, 2 young drivers, both have aspirations to make the move in the Winston Cup competition. In fact, Hess has already had a couple of opportunities. Horton, who substituted so greatly this year for Darrell Waltrip, is now being challenged out of turn 2.
It looks like Hess's car is a little faster coming off the turns, Jerry, but once they hit the straightaway and going into the turns, Horton maybe has a little bit of advantage. See Hess now moving up as he come off the turn. He dips down on the inside, but he just can't muscle enough speed to be able to make the pass.
Beginning to close in a little bit there on Keselowski in front of him, but Hess again gets a great surge out of turn 2. That car owned by Hank Jones,
who owns the Sports Image, who handles the souvenirs for Dale Earnhardt, Davey Allison, Michael Waltrip, several others in the Western Cup Series.
And Tony Urey, Dale Earnhardt's Busch Grand National crew chief, is handling the crew chiefing unit today for Ben Hess.
Here's Dorothy Schrader in the Ford number 69, as you mentioned, in the driver introduction, making his first oval track run.
And a battle, Bill Venturini, the car number 35. Venturini, a former winner here, having won twice, in fact, back in March of '86 and November of '87, back when he won the series championship, being challenged by a young driver, Greg Trammell, only 24 years of age. And car number 18, that's a Bill Elliott-owned car. Harry Melling, Bill Elliott, racing operation.
Came close going into the turn, and this is Trammell's only 8th start in ARCA competition, Jerry. He's pretty impressive.
Indeed he is. He's finished 4th here in the past, finished 4th here in the spring of '89. His best ARCA finish is 2nd at Pocono this year.
Well, here's Horton again, the car number 80, moving up on Keselowski. Hess still hasn't been able to move around him. And now they have caught Bill Venturini, who was just passed by Trammell.
That's the battle, 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th on your screen there. Just to the left of your screen, the red car is Trammell, who is the 3rd place car. He is pulled away. Venturini, the 35 car, is 4th. Behind him in 5th place is Keselowski. Then comes Horton and Ben Hess.
Those cars are pretty well evenly matched. The front 2 cars have pulled away from the 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th place cars. And there you say the interval.
Boy, there we're going to try to find Charlie Glotzback, and he has certainly said, see you guys.
Is there something about those black cars on this Atlanta International Raceway? Earnhardt has won 3 of the last 4 Winston Cup races here. Of course, his car is black, and Glotzback driving a black car. I believe it's out of the shots off with Richard Childers, same as Earnhardt.
Indeed it is, Benny Parsons. This is the same kind of car Earnhardt and those folks run.
Exactly right, Jerry. That's what I was going to say. It has a Goodrich crew down taking care of the car and watching it go around the racetrack. Those fellows, Richard Childers and his crew, know something about Atlanta. I'm not sure what it is, but they know something.
Well, the car right now just seems to be handling perfectly. And as we mentioned, since each turn takes up a half a mile, handling is a key quality here on this racetrack.
There's Danny Lawrence, who's one of the engine men right in the middle of your screen with the sunglasses on, and part of the Goodrich crew that have come to put that car together. Cecil Gordon is the shop foreman for Richard Childers and Dale Earnhardt, prepared the car. They sold to Floyd Garrett, and is certainly performing very well here in the early laps at Atlanta Motor Speedway for the ARCA Atlanta Journal 500K. Charging Charlie Glotzback leads the youngster Robbie Gordon here as 16 laps are complete. Stay with us. At Atlanta Motor Speedway under the second caution flag today. Why? Well, just moments ago, over at a turn 2, Joe Nemorowski, the 33-year-old Suffield, Connecticut driver, spins and comes into contact. Well, a little bit of contact as he has the tire going down in his Chevrolet. Everyone taking advantage of this caution flag to move on the pit road, including our lead 2 cars, Charlie Glotzback in the car number 28 and the car number 90 of Robbie Gordon. Now we'll watch the pit work here, Ned, and we'll see what the difference is.
Well, you see, Glotzback already has his service and is headed out while Gordon is still on the pit road. Benny, did he have a little bit of a problem?
Ned, Robbie Gordon had the problem. He didn't realize that the driver has to hold his foot on the brakes while a pit stop is going on. When they threw the tire up on the left front, the hub just spun. They couldn't slide the wheel on the new lug studs because the hub kept going round and around. They frantically tried to tell Robbie Gordon, hit the brakes. He didn't know what they were talking about. Finally, he hit the brakes and was able to change the tire, and he left, but after losing a lot of ground.
He said, I don't need to hit the brakes. I'm already stopped. Well, here we go. The green flag ready to wave again.
Now, Greg Trammell and Ben Hess both pitted a lap before. This is the caution was coming out. That's why they're back up toward the front. But Scott Stovall is our leader here on lap number 35. The 1982 ARCA Series champion in the car number 0.
Now, he did not make a pit stop, Jerry, during this caution period, so that does put him out front. And right in front of him is Jimmy Horton, who had made an unscheduled green flag pit stop a little while ago due to a flat tire. He had gone a lap down, but he's back in the lead lap now. He'd like to see another caution right now so that he can get back in the thick of this thing.
And there's the car number 28 of Charlie Glotzback. The black car with the white numbers on the side of it there. The Chevrolet Lumina on the move, weaving his way back with his Bob Breback down in turn 1.
Well, Robbie Gordon trying to follow him out through there and doing a pretty good job, Jerry, not maybe taking the chances that Charlie would. Charlie has a lot of confidence not only in his car, but in himself as well. Has a lot of experience now as he goes around Bob Breback. Gordon trying to go high. Breback had a problem just before the caution came out. He was in the pits. Now Breback goes high. Gordon takes the low route. He's moving that Ford around pretty good on the racetrack.
I think I'm impressed with this young 21-year-old driver. Never having been on oval track before, and never saw this racetrack until a week ago when he came here and practiced. And just moments ago, Greg Trammell on the right of your screen, the Ford Thunderbird, the Harry Melling-owned car out of the Bill Elliott stable, took the lead, and now Trammell will try to close in and put Horton a lap down, but Jimmy Horton is trying to hang on in the 24-degree banking up in turn 3. Now Trammell closing to within a half a car length and will make the move out of turn 4.
Now, certainly one thing that's in his favor, he does have 4 fresh tires on that Melling Ford, number 18. Horton stayed out there. He has 2 relatively fresh tires on the outside, but he stayed out there to get track position, trying to hold off Trammell from going a lap down.
Now, Mike Beam, who's probably on the headset radio with Trammell, is telling him he knows how strong Horton will be if they let him have that lap back later in the day. And Trammell's car bobbles a little bit. Going into turn 3, he had the car pinked on the bottom of the racetrack. Now, the quick crew is up where Horton is, but Trammell hangs on.
But look, here comes Charlie Glotzback now, and Ben Hess in car number 40. Hess had made a pit stop the same time Trammell did. A lap before, Glotzback made his pit stop, so they came out in front of Glotzback, but now Glotzback has caught him.
4 cars battling, 3 for the lead, 1 to stay in the lead lap. As Glotzback now goes to the inside, up the back straightaway.
And here comes Ben Hess on the outside of Greg Trammell and takes the lead.
Great move by Ben Hess, and now the battle is for second spot between Trammell and Glotzback. Speeds of 170 miles an hour here in the straightaways. They get down to 160, 155 in the turns, and now Glotzback makes the move on the bottom of the racetrack beneath Greg Trammell. Ford versus Chevrolet, the black Floyd Garrett Chevrolet. And right behind him, a youngster who's got to be watching, sort of like when you go to school on a prep, I guess, in golf. He is watching what the veterans in front of him are doing. Now, veterans Trammell is a youngster, but he's already run 8 or 9 ARCA races.
Yeah, both of those drivers are getting some good schooling here now from Charlie Glotzback. In particular, Ben Hess has a little more experience than they have, but not nearly as much as Glotzback. And so I'm sure they're watching that veteran to see what moves he's making, what they can do to make similar moves. Here goes Gordon down on the inside, so you got 2 relatively newcomers there battling side by side, but Trammell gets the best of that deal. Meanwhile, Horton is able to hold on to Ben Hess up there and stay in the lead lap.
Jimmy Horton knows that this race is filled with a lot of inexperienced riders. If he can hang on long enough, he figures there's got to be another yellow flag sometime. Guys, I'm going to get a chance to hold my lap back, so come at you. At 172 miles an hour. Remember the pole here for Robbie Gordon, 175.396 miles per hour. His first ever start on an oval track.
Hey, that was an impressive feat.
I tell you what's impressive about Robbie Gordon, Ed. He ran the Baja last weekend, 22 hours in a rough and tumble race. He drove, he got held up at the Mexican border, made it to Del Mar, California in time to qualify his GTO car. Now, he had never seen the Del Mar race course either, like he's never seen Atlanta. He qualified his car in about the 3rd or 4th row. They let him sleep for 2 hours. They woke him up, put him in the race car, and he won the race.
Wow.
That's an impressive move. And again, an impressive move by Charlie Glotzback as he tries to take the lead away, but Hess says, nope, not quite. I'm going to hang on, but Glotzback just a little too much muscle off the second turn.
Well, this is the way that Ben Hess had gotten the lead from Greg Trammell while Trammell was trying to pass Jimmy Horton. Hess went up on the outside of him, and Charlie Glotzback did exactly the same thing to Ben Hess. Now he has Horton to contend with. He might be able to pass Horton a little bit easier than the other drivers. We'll see.
Now, Charging Charlie said, now, Trammell, you had your shot, and Ben, you had a shot. Let me show you how it's done. I'm going to try to catch Horton, and he just might do it. No, he just can't do it. Horton hangs on, using up a lot of racetrack in that Miles Concrete Pontiac. Lots of action coming your way from the Atlanta Journal ARCA 500. Don't go away from that after this. The battle continues up front. They have gone around Jimmy Horton and put him back a lap down, but Ben Hess and Charging Charlie Glotzback as Hess now shows a little bit of smoke, Ned.
I think that was tire smoke. I think he got in the turn just a little bit too hard.
But
well, maybe so. Maybe it was something else other than tires, because he has slowed down to the inside of the racetrack. Well, what a gallant run here early in the race. Might be all for naught for Ben Hess.
Tough race for Ben Hess, a great run. The Keith Dorton prepared engine in that car. The Hank Jones owned Chevrolet Lumina, crewed by Dale Earnhardt's crew. Their Tony Urey and the Busch Grand National crew, but Ben Hess is slowing here, and the green flag action continues. He will roll it down toward pit road. Former winner here at Atlanta Motor Speedway, having won in the spring of 1989. He will make the hard left-hand turn to head to the garage area. But a battle on the racetrack. This is a battle for the second spot now, as Greg Trammell in the Ford trying to hold off another Ford, the youngster Robbie Gordon.
Well, we understand that Ben Hess maybe has lost a cylinder in that car, so it was an engine problem. So too bad for him. He really had it going well for himself. Well, we understand that Jimmy Horton might have lost a cylinder as well, the car number 80, who we saw not long ago trying to get or keep himself in the lead lap. But this is a battle of Fords for second place. Greg Trammell, Robbie Gordon.
Now Robbie Gordon trying to use what experience he's had now, some 47 laps worth of experience on this mile-and-a-half racetrack, and he just can't quite hold the inside groove against Trammell. And Greg Trammell works for the Elliott team for Melling Racing. He's an engine assistant, works with Ernie Elliott, of course, in the engine room. But would he like to be able to pick his brain and decide what he knows about building those Ford motors? Apparently, they have really got this place dialed in. And Greg Trammell, who's only run a handful of ARCA events, his best finish in Atlanta, coming here, he finished 4th back in the spring of '89.
Here's trouble. Car number 33 has crashed into the wall. That's Dale McDowell. He's still going, but he was up high on the outside. Of course, the caution is out.
Dale McDowell, 24 years of age. Only his 8th ARCA start. He's a short track veteran, runs Tennessee, Alabama, and Georgia in elite model dirt cars. He has come into contact with the wall up there in turns 1 and 2. The caution flag being displayed for the 3rd time today here at Atlanta Motor Speedway. McDowell had a great qualifying effort in that car number 33. Planked it in the top 10 at the 8th spot at over 171 miles an hour. But that contact will bring us the caution for the 3rd time today. And charging Charlie Glotzbach will lead him as they slow down and follow the safety car once again. Lots of laps. Stay with us. Pulls off up in turn 4, and Charlie Glotzbach takes that as the cue to go. He jumps in the throttle, comes up through the gearbox, and yes, they will indeed wave the green flag once again. Lap 54, just a little over a 4th of the way through this 204-lap, 500-kilometer event, and Glotzbach says see to Greg Trammell, the 2nd place car, and Trammell is back there in that red and white numeral Ford Thunderbird, getting a challenge out of turn 2 by Robbie Gordon. His car.
Go ahead, Jerry. I think Glotzbach has one of those Dale Earnhardt transmissions in that car because the great start that he gets, and of course his timing is perfect as well. But did you notice how he pulled down on the inside to break the draft of those cars as he took off?
Now Robbie Gordon trying to make a little air out of being pushed out of the way of his Ford. He's done by the prepared Ford, and Gordon carries it right down on the bottom of the racetrack. Now that's a pretty good groove. That youngster's learned a lot in a few laps.
He has learned a lot pretty quickly here, Jerry. He made a very good move, found that groove, and I'm sure that he was schooled by Junie Donlevy and other people to search around for that particular groove that the car feels the best in, and he's learned quickly.
Well, I heard Junie Dunleavy telling yesterday, make sure you don't let that black car get away, because if you follow that old man talking about Glotzbach, and now Dunleavy is somebody to call somebody, you know, tip about Junie, who is a forever young 66-year-old car owner, but if you follow Glotzbach around the racetrack, you'll learn a lot. And I'm sure Robbie Gordon saw Glotzbach pulling away and said, hey, I got to catch that guy.
And, of course, Junie Donlevy knows something about Charlie Glotzbach because Glotzbach drove some for him.
We'll check an interval and see now that Robbie Gordon has been able to get around Greg Trammell. We'll see how much that Ford actually has. The interval between 1st and 2nd is a solid 2.0 seconds, and even 2 seconds. Robbie Gordon is driving this car. Now, this car we mentioned, Junie Dunleavy, is actually Winston Cup legal. The ARCA cars are supposed to weigh 3,400 pounds. This car, Junie didn't realize when he brought it down here, still weighed 3,500 pounds. In fact, the car came across the scales this morning, weighed 3,492 pounds. And the fact that he ran 175 miles an hour in a Winston Cup legal car, that would have put him on the pole for the Winston Cup race. We'll check the interval once again. Is he catching him? Well, no, he's losing a little ground each time by.
Lost 0.2 of a second that time around. Looks like he's smoking the tires in the turns, Jerry. He really is driving it hard. He don't mind carrying it on down into the turns here, but he is smoking those tires, and that will hurt him as the laps continue. The more he heats those tires up, the less they're going to adhese in the turns.
There's Bill Venturini in the car number 35 and the car number 69 right behind him. We mentioned, of course, the first start for Dorsey Schrader, the Baldwin, Missouri driver, the current reigning GTO champion for 1990.
They're running 6th and 7th. Venturini in 6th place, Schrader in 7th.
That's Bob Breback. They're passing there. He was the 1990 ARCA champion. He made an unscheduled pit stop for a right side tire change about 10 laps into the race, and so he is a lap down. Bill Venturini told me yesterday that he is back to the prototype engine. He said, I have never felt an engine this strong in a long time. In fact, since he won the ARCA championship back in 1987 when he had prototype motor, he said they'd gone back and they maybe their difference with prototype. He had a prototype engine in the car here. He said the car absolutely feels the strongest I've had in a long time.
Here's Bob Keselowski in car number 29, moving up on the car number 3 of Carl Miscotton.
And for fourth place. Miscotton, that's Carl Miscotton Jr., who's 41 years of age. Driver who normally runs in some of the outlaw late models and outlaw sprints, a veteran in the SCCA ranks from Nashville, Tennessee.
Keselowski had tried him on the high side, Jerry, and then he decided he would go down low, but that didn't work either. This is a good wide racetrack. There are several turns in the grooves, but like any racetrack, there's one particular place that they just seem to run faster than anywhere else.
You see just a moment ago, you see now Keselowski moves by Miscotton to the right of your screen. There comes Schrader and Venturini. Those two cars right there, the 35 and 69. Venturini is in the Chevrolet Lumina. Schrader in the Lucky Compton-owned Ford Thunderbird. That's a Jack Roush engine in that car. And you say, well, why is it a Jack Roush engine? Well, Dorsey Schrader drives for Jack Roush in GTO and won him the Series Championship this year, won the Trans Am title a year ago.
And has big plans for the future. Going to be very versatile in 1991. Run some maybe NASCAR Busch Grand Nationals, some Winston Cup races, and some ARCA races, and continue some road racing. That's right. They said possibly Bill Davis, who owned the Busch Grand National car that Mark Martin drove this year, would field the car for Schrader just in that kind of frame, man. And the Busch Series effort, maybe 10 or 12 races in each one. And Venturini now moving by, as will Dorsey Schrader, the Carl Miscotton Jr. car. Looks like his car was a little loose going into the turn, so he gives them plenty of running room. You don't want to get up in front of them and if the car's not handling just right and foul himself up as well as this. Back up front, there's Charlie Glotzback. Charlie Glotzback, who has never won here at Atlanta Motor Speedway. His best run here coming in the late 60s. He was subbing for a guy by the name of Leroy Yarborough, who was then driving for Junior Johnson. And Glotzback was able to take that car home to a fourth place finish. Lots of laps left, and don't go away. We'll be back. A highlighted version of the ARCA Atlanta Journal 500K. And under caution for the fourth time today, pit stops. Let's go to Benny Parsons.
Jerry Punch, they have brought the Robbie Gordon forward in. They're changing the right side, cleaning the windshield, because that is going to be important as the day wears on. Mike Smith brings the jack around, goes on the left side. Let's watch this time and see if he remembers to hold his foot on the brakes. Oh, yes, no problem this time. This boy is a quick runner, Jerry. Made a big difference, too, how quickly they were able to get that tire on. And Benny, Charlie Glotzback did not come into the pits then. It'll be interesting to see if he comes this next lap. But if he does come in the next lap, that's going to give Robbie Gordon a big advantage.
Let's take a look and show you why we're under caution. Up in turn 3, a couple of cars coming together. The 34, hard contact. That's Bob Breback and Joe Nemorowski, the Suffield, Connecticut driver, in his Chevrolet Monte Carlo. The cars tangle, get hooked together, and slide down the track up in turn 3. Let's check back in with Benny Parsons in the Glotzback pit.
Jerry, evidently he just goofed and didn't come in, because now they are signaling in. Cecil Gordon has the crew, and what a mixed bag of crew this is. We have a Goodrich right front tire changer. Darrell Andrews with the Budweiser crew is carrying tires. Pete Wright is a jackman. He's from the Budweiser crew. Mike Hill is changing the right rear tire from the Budweiser crew. Chocolate Myers is a gas man from the Goodrich crew. They've got all kinds of crews trying to fit this car. And it is a great pit stop. Looks like these guys are working together pretty fast. Left side goes on. Scott Kaluka finishes up. Glotzback goes away.
Well, I'd imagine the reason all those guys are working on that one crew is because, like myself, they were big Charlie Glotzback fans growing up. Remember when he was driving for many years? Now safety crews are over checking with Bob Breback, who took quite an impact there on the left side when he came together with Nemorowski. Then the car came up against the outside wall. So we'll check on the condition of Bob Breback and have the report for you when we come back with a break from Atlanta Motor Speedway after this.
There's some interesting people watch Robbie Gordon go around the racetrack. First, owner Junie Donlevy, Ken Bell, the crew chief, and look here, Lee Morris with Ford Motor Company, and Michael Kranopis, who is the director of Ford Racing worldwide. He makes decisions, Formula One, all the other stuff, and he's the guy with a haircut that looks a lot like mine, watching Robbie Gordon go down around the racetrack, leading the Atlanta Journal 500K.
Well, indeed, the brain trust from Ford are here. They got to be awfully proud, Ned. They're young drivers making their first ever starts at oval track, running first and fifth.
And let's see what Charlie Glotzback can do now that he's right on his bumper. He didn't jump him on the restart. Glotzback has been getting awfully good starts when he was in the lead. He got a good start, but he has the youngster, Robbie Gordon, in front of him as they go into turn one. And, you know, with all that brain trust from Ford down there in the pits watching this young fella, he's got to have a bright future, Jerry.
Got to have a lot of pressure on him, but he's not feeling it all right now. The pressure he's feeling coming from the front of a Chevrolet Lumina, which is just about a car and a half behind him as they head for turn three. But he's doing a good job holding the car toward the bottom of the racetrack as Glotzback now rides the middle groove, coming up out of turn four. Those two cars now pulling away to the third place car. A pretty good battle back there for third between Venturini and Bob Keselowski, but there's that battle for third spot. Venturini, the car number 35. Keselowski is the 29, and there's Dorsey Schrader in the other Ford Thunderbird. That's the Jack Roush powered car owned by Lucky Compton. They go by the lap car, Tracy Leslie, who had some trouble early on.
Tracy is currently 2 laps down. Venturini running in third position.
Some of the drivers have had to park it today. David Elliott, Mark Gibson involved in an early crash along with H.B. Bailey, Cecil Eunice, Buddy Geiger likewise involved. Billy Simmons is behind the wall. Mike Davis, Peter Suspenzo, and Wayne Dellinger in the car number 03. Jimmy Horton, who had lost a cylinder, was a factor early on. Ben Hess, who led early on. And Dale McDowell had a great qualifying run, hit the wall. Bob Brebeck, our reigning 1990 champion, and Mike Skinner just moments ago, who erupted an engine while running in the top 10.
Here's Keselowski making a move, trying to take over third from Bill Venturini. And there's Schrader not far behind them. I think he's been very impressive here today. Dorsey Schrader has been with no experience on an oval track.
Dorsey Schrader impressed a lot of people as now Keselowski now tries to hold off the inside of Venturini out of turn 4. Venturini really strong, but Glotzback now will begin to make a move. Dives to the bottom of the racetrack. Can he hold it there? Not quite. Well, can he get enough throttle out of turn 2?
Well, he drifts up a little bit. He made a classic move going into the turn. He did exactly what he had to do. He followed him in there, tried to break the back end of the 90 car loose just by taking the air off the spoiler, and it worked for him. Now he has taken the lead down the low side of the racetrack.
Keselowski now trying to take the third spot as he does it over in turn 3 and 4. Bob Keselowski, we should say, the 1989 series champion, takes third spot. And now Robbie Gordon will go to school again and try to stay right with Charlie Glotzback.
He probably has a pretty good idea of what Glotzback did going into that turn. Glotzback was right on his bumper, followed him in there as straight as he could behind him, and then hit to the left just as he got to the turn. Of course, he had to turn, but he turned a little bit quicker than he would have had to, and that broke the air off of the spoiler and made Robbie's car just a little bit loose, and that allowed Glotzback to go by on the inside.
They're coming at you at 170 miles an hour, down to about 155 in the turns. A lot of banking here. It's a 1.5 mile racetrack, and a mile of that track is actually turned. Turns 1 and 2, a half a mile. Just coming out of turn 2 now, they got a 1/4 mile back straight away, and they will ride on a 24-degree banking in turns 3 and 4 for another half a mile.
Glotzback beginning to inch away just a little bit, Jerry. They'll get the halfway mark this time as they come by.
And Scott Stovall now trying to make his way back up to the front. Number of cars, that's car number 18 of Greg Trammell. He's among the early leaders.
There are 11 cars on the lead lap at the halfway point. And this, some of those are in this group of cars, including Greg Trammell, who made a late pit stop during the last caution, did a little work on the right front sheet metal of that car. And Scott Stovall also made a pit stop during the last caution. And leaders did not.
That's the car number 95 of Hyde, Jeff Green, who is a young driver, 28 years of age, in the National Motors Speedway. He's in the red, white remote car number 95, the Earl Sadler racing car, right beside Scott Stovall. The Stovall now moves beneath him down in turn 1 and 2. Car number 19, that's Chris Gerke in the Lean Supreme sponsored car, one of the ARCA regulars.
Gerke is the last car on the lead lap. He is running 11th. And the car number 95 that you just mentioned, Jeff Green, is in 10th position. Stovall now has moved up to 9th.
Greg Trammell making his way back to the front, slides beneath the Art Seegers, car number 55. Seegers and Joe Nemorowski, who's been involved in a couple of shunts early into the afternoon, still running.
Well, we told you who was running 9th. Greg Trammell now has moved up to 8th place. And in 7th place is the car number 99, Donnie Moran, who continues to stay in the top 10 here this afternoon.
Lots of racing action all over Atlanta Motor Speedway. Charlie Glotzback has the Floyd Garrett Racing Chevrolet back up front as Glotzback being chased by Robbie Gordon, Bob Keselowski, Bill Venturini, and Dorsey Schrader in the top 5. Stay with us. Motor Speedway for our Speed World coverage, the abbreviated edition of the Atlanta Journal 500K. Just moments ago, up in turns 3 and 4, Joe Kosiski, 33-year-old Omaha, Nebraska driver, had his hands full, Ned.
Yes, the engine let go as he went into the turn, and just as the back end started to go around, or as the oil and water hit the pavement, that's what caused him to go around, and then he was just holding on as the car went into the wall, slides back down across the track, but he is okay. Car out of the race.
He was being shown an 11th spot. There have been 7 cautions thus far for 41 laps. We mentioned Robbie Gordon lost 2nd spot when the yellow flag came out. His car not handling all that well. So Robbie Gordon back in 3rd spot. You see him in line there behind Charlie Glotzback. And
let's see what kind of a jump Glotzback gets this time. The ARCA officials have been watching him, the kind of jumps he's been getting in the past. He didn't get quite as good of a jump that time as he had in the past. However, it's pretty good. Maybe knows that he's being watched and held up just a little bit, but now he accelerates off turn 2.
Well, let's see what Dorsey Schrader has been able to gather from his brief experience on the oval tracks. A couple of IROC races and in 137 laps today in Atlanta. As he currently being shown in 2nd spot. Robbie Gordon back in 3rd.
And Gordon apparently hit the quick drive that was put down for Sosiska's car, and he has spun it into the wall. And right in front of a lot of other cars, but it looks like everybody's going to be able to get by. What a tough break.
Robbie Gordon, car number 90, now coming to rest just in the interest of turn 4. Caution being shown now for the 8th time of day. He lets the car roll down off the banking.
I think what happened, he got in there with his quick drive that was put down with oil from Sosiska's car, and the outside wheels hit it. And around he went. Quite a bit of damage to that Ford, Jerry.
Car comes down across the track. One car spinning, trying to avoid him. Just barely getting by the top of the screen there.
And here's another angle. We'll watch him as he goes into the turn. And you can see that as he got into the turn there, that the quick drive is put down to soak up the oil. He got into it. And boy, it's just like getting on marbles when you get on that stuff.
Thad Coleman, the other car that spun. Let's check in the pits with Benny Parsons.
We can see much damage on the left front. Also, the left rear is where most of the damage is, although they're able to put the gasoline in. Now they're having trouble getting the jack under the car. The pace car is going by, so Rob Gordon now goes at least 1 lap down, but they're going to have to try to get the sheet metal off the tire, which Ken Bell has a huge hammer. A sledgehammer. He's knocking the fender off. They will be able to knock the sheet metal off, get tires on, and they'll probably bring the car back in the next time to make sure that the toe end's okay and the front end adjustment's okay.
Ouch, that hurt a little bit.
The tires aren't going back on. The hood engine broke on the rear of the car. They put a bungee cord to keep the hood on the car. They are able to get the left front tire on. Trying to get the left rear quarter panel off the tire. David McKee back on the rear. I don't know where he came from. He's not far in the room, but
is that new attire for pit crewman Benny with David McGee there, the long black jacket?
I don't know. He's not top part of the crew, he saw something need to be done, so he jumped across the wall, went to work.
Well, he's doing a Danny Laycock imitation, our spotter here. He wears those long riding jackets here. Look just like that. As Robbie Gordon's crew working to get that car pieced back together, we are under caution here, believe it or not, for the 8th time today at Atlanta Motor Speedway. Lots of action left to come your way. Yes, lots left, so don't go away. Time today, of course, Robbie Gordon's glorious day coming to an end up in turn 3, Ned.
He gets in the oil dry going into turn 3, spins the car sideways, backs it into the wall. A lot of traffic coming in on him as he scrapes the wall and then comes back down across the racetrack. He has the wheels locked at this time, and then he goes back up a little bit again and almost into another car that gets by on the outside.
You got to wonder, here's a guy that makes a living running on sand out in Baja and off-road racing, as they are still looking at his car.
Apparently a problem here, Jerry. Glotzback, as the green flag is about to wave. Glotzback coming down pit road. What about it, Benny?
They say he has up front a flat tire, Ned. He's bringing the car in, Richard Childers. And yes, the left front tire is completely flat. I'm sure one of the other competitors on the racetrack drove up beside Charlie and told him the tire was flat. The crew hastily changing the left side. ARCA official standing in front of the car.
That's holding up 2 fingers. That's holding up 2 fingers. They're going to hold him 2 laps? What does that mean?
I don't know. We're going to have to wait. Now the ARCA official says he can go. He leaves, but the cars are coming off turn 4. He'll have to hustle to try to stay in the lead lap.
Yeah, I don't think you'll be able to. Bill Venturini leading this race now as they go down, and they're going to go around him. You see Glotzback down on the inside. The black car, he is going a lap down. Wow, what a turn of events here.
What a tough break for Charging Charlie, but it's not over, folks. There is still about 54 laps to go, and Glotzback has the strongest car on the racetrack. But right now, the fellows he's going to be chasing are those right there. Bob Keselowski in the car number 29. It's a Chevrolet Beretta, but Venturini again up in the loose stuff. Man, out of turn 4.
He got very high enough that Keselowski was able to get down under him and take the lead.
The red car there in the screen, that's a third-place car of Dorsey Schrader, and that's a Ford Thunderbird, the Lucky Compton car, again carrying a Jack Roush motor, but Keselowski is the leader. Harris Chevrolet's in the Ford. Top 3 car.
Now, we have seen Schrader pass Venturini once before today. Can he do it now for the 2nd position? Couldn't do it that time. He gets awfully close. He's working him pretty good. First time in an ARCA Series race. Dorsey Schrader, car number 69.
Let's take a look at the replay again on the restart. Now here's Charlie Glotzback down inside the pace car as the pace car is bringing the field around toward turn 4.
Apparently, yes, he did. Accelerated in front of the pace car as the pace car was about to pull off of the track and is going to get the green flag, but Glotzback beat him to pit road, and so that apparently was the reason for the penalty.
We saw NASCAR warn Dale Earnhardt about passing pace car just like that at Phoenix a week ago in our Winston Cup coverage, so that's certainly a reason for them holding him somewhat in the pits. As now those 2 cars are battling. That's Keselowski, the left of your screen. The black car is our leader. Then the Chevrolet of Venturini, the Amoco-sponsored car, Bill Venturini, and Dorsey Schrader. We might mention Bill Venturini's Amoco sponsorship going away after this year. They've been together for so long, and he's won an ARCA championship. They will be with him at Daytona in February of 1991, and he told us he's looking for sponsorship to continue both his ARCA and Winston Cup efforts for next year.
Well, here comes Glotzback now. He has caught back up to them after they accelerated past him and put him a lap down, but now he is back up on the bumper of Dorsey Schrader. Of course, he's got to pass Keselowski to get back in the lead lap. But Glotzback right now, Jerry, is hoping that this thing will go green for another 10 laps or so. He's going by Schrader on the outside.
Charlie Glotzback is the 8th place car, 1 lap down. There are 7 cars in the lead lap, and he's riding high, wide, and handsome, and using all 52 years of experience. Charlie Glotzback now will try it on the inside.
I tell you, we're going to see some driving by that man. Look at him. Just drives right down on the inside of the car number 35 of Venturini and moves around him. Let's go to the pits and Benny Parsons.
Ned, I'm down with Robbie Gordon. What a great run today.
Yeah, we were having a good run. The Ford Thunderbird was just running great, you know. We had that last caution where the guy dumped some oil down the turn, and You know, I was just trying to make up a little time, and I didn't really know about this deal yet, but I dropped down on all dry, she went up to the wall.
What did you think of your first trip on an oval track?
Well, we had a lot of fun today, you know. It's a whole different game than what we play, and it's just going to take a while to get used to it, but I think we can figure this out.
I tell you what, you had some very interesting spectators. A lot of the Ford brass was here, so I think there is a crash done in turn one. Tracy Letts is up against the wall, but had a lot of Ford brass. Things look good for your future.
Well, thank you very much. Hopefully things will work out for the future.
There's the set car number 72, the Tracy Leslie car, as he has come into contact with the wall. No caution flag. His car is still rolling down the back straightaway. He will try to get the car down back to pit road as he has rubbed that right front of the car against the concrete retaining wall up in turns 1 and 2. There is Bob Keselowski to the left of your screen, but Charlie Glotzbach is closing and coming in a hurry. 4 car lengths, 3 car lengths as they pass one of the slower cars of Alan Pruitt. 2 car lengths, a car length and a half, and Glotzbach will make the move on the outside. Here he comes.
And we understand that the car number 3 of Carl Muscotton Jr. is blowing up, Jerry, having some engine problems. And Glotzbach certainly wants to be in front if the caution should come out.
Keselowski able to hold him off down in turns 1 and 2. Keselowski really getting through turns 1 and 2 pretty well. But here's where Glotzbach's strength is. A strong motor in that car down the back straightaway.
And he is able to keep the car pretty low on the racetrack. Of course, Keselowski stays pretty low as well this time around. Coming up on some other traffic, Glotzbach still not able to make the pass as Keselowski comes by down to the inside of Greg Trammell.
Now Glotzbach will go beneath him in turn 1 as they went underneath the car of Greg Trammell. Glotzbach now the 8th car on the lead lap. 8 cars in the lead lap here at Atlanta Motor Speedway. 152 laps in the books of 204, which comprise the ARCA Atlanta Journal 500K. The question, can Charlie Glotzbach come back and possibly get a yellow flag and have a shot at it, or will Keselowski hold on? Don't go away. We'll answer those questions. We welcome you back to Atlanta Motor Speedway for our highlighted version of the Atlanta Journal 500K, the final race of the year of the 1990 ARCA Permatex Series. Leader is on pit road. Bob Keselowski, final pit stop of the day.
And it looks like he's only taking on gas. Is that all they're going to do, Benny Parsons?
Ned, I think they're confused. I don't really think they were expecting Keselowski in. He drives away. They're looking under the car, and there's a lot of smoke under the car, like the clutch is gone or something. I don't know. I'll have to go down and talk to his brother, Ron, and see exactly what happened, but they looked very confused when he came in.
Well, he has gone a lap down. The others will have to make a pit stop before this race is over. Here is the battle for the lead now as Bill Venturini takes over the lead, but Dorsey Schrader now takes the lead in the Ford. They've been battling for second, and all of a sudden he just runs away. Is Venturini coming in, Jerry?
Venturini is indeed slowing. He will make his way down pit road. Our Benny Parsons will be standing by for what should be the final pit stop of the day for the Amoco Ultimate Chevrolet. Venturini, a 2-time winner in Atlanta, will head down pit road for the final pit stop. They will come in and see if the crew are ready to change tires. Kathy Venturini, Bill's wife, and the rest of the Amoco crew there will work on the right side of the car. Change right side tires. Remember, just moments ago, Ned, we saw Keselowski have trouble. The clock now ticking on Venturini.
Well, they are changing tires on his car. They did not change on Keselowski's car, and it looks like they're going to go for a 4-tire change. And this will put him at least a lap down. Keselowski did go a lap down in the confusion of whether they wanted to change tires or not. But certainly they're changing all 4 tires on this car. That should make him run faster. But boy, this with about 35 laps to go, don't know. I'm sure that the car will feel much better with 4 new tires on.
30.8 seconds, and you saw it just a minute ago going by Keselowski, who has come back into the pits. But our leader is that driver in the Ford, car number 69. That is the Lucky Compton-owned car of Dorsey Schrader, making his first ARCA start. He moves up on Joe Nomorowski, the Suffield, Connecticut driver.
Now this has put the car number 19 of Chris Gerke into second place, and Charlie Glotzbach, who got his lap back a little while ago, now has moved into third.
Schrader now making a move underneath Nomorowski. He is the lead car.
Jerry, we understand that Keselowski has a ratchet problem in his car. He had a good healthy lead before he made that pit stop, but now he is out of the running here. Keselowski we're talking about, and Dorsey Schrader, the man of the hour right now.
Well, a great run by Dorsey Schrader here, but also another youngster you mentioned just a moment ago, Ned, 24-year-old Chris Gerke, having a great run. And we'll watch the rear end of the car number 29 spin as he's leaving the pit.
Yeah, you see the right wheel is just spinning and spinning, and the left wheel apparently is getting some traction, but he can't get, that's the ratchet problem that he has. And here's a battle for second place as Charlie Glotzback goes flying into second around Gerke.
Well, the car number 28 of Charlie Glotzback now moving in the second spot around Chris Gerke. Let's check in the pits with Benny Park.
Tell you, Punch, I talked to Ron Keselowski, the brother of Bob, and asked him what the problem was. He didn't know, but from what you're describing, it sounds like he has broken an axle shaft. Meanwhile, Dorsey Schrader, his crew is getting ready to bring him in the pits. The pit board is out. The gas can is on the man's shoulder, and he is going to be coming down pit road.
Heck, he's coming at you right now, Benny.
And they're not changing any tires. This is a fuel-only stop. Just putting in the amount of fuel that he needs to finish the race and go on. A bad pit stop is what they had to chase him down with the gas can. Let's take him to go. Gas only 7 seconds, a little over 7 seconds, and a full can of fuel.
Well, Benny, I think they needed to get a full can in that car if he's going to go the rest of the way, because he has, what, 29 laps to go, so it'll take a full 10 gallons to go that distance.
But there's our new leader, Charlie Glotzback. Remember, he had that unscheduled pit stop on the restart just about 30 laps ago. He came in, they held him to 2 seconds for passing the pace car early. Here's Chris Gerke, the car number 19, 24-year-old Lincoln, Illinois driver, making his final stop of the day. Gerke, who was being shown as a second-place car, great run with that Lean Supreme sponsored car. Currently 5th in the ARCA Permatex point stand. He's finished 7th last year overall in his rookie season, did Gerke. He comes from the SCCA ranks, where he ran in the Monster Pro Series. Impressive young driver, just 24 years of age. Good pit stop, fuel only, 9.6 seconds, and he is down and away.
So they can celebrate with some of that Lean Supreme if he goes on to run the rest of the way here, Jerry, the way he has run today. He's been right up in the top 10 in the last two-thirds of this race.
There's the man they'll be chasing, the Floyd Garrett old car. Now, Floyd Garrett lives in Fernandina Beach, Florida. He bought this car from Richard Childress. It was an R&D car. They never raced the car up to the Richard Childress and Dale Earnhardt operation. They used it for research and development and testing, and sold the car to Floyd Garrett, and now he is asking to help him maintain the car. And certainly they are doing a great job of maintaining it. So is Charlie Glotzback today, because he's been up front most of the afternoon.
But can he make it the rest of the way, Jerry? You know, he came in just as the green flag was coming after that last pit stop. Can he go the rest of the way as far as fuel is concerned? How about it, Benny Parsons?
Ned, Jared, I talked to Cecil Gordon, and he said we can go the rest of the way. But he didn't say it with a lot of confidence. I think they're going to try to go the rest of the way. Whether or not they can make it, we'll have to find out.
Well, it would actually be over 80 miles, about 83 or 84 miles, and that might be pretty close.
Yeah, I believe he can make it. I thought it was a little bit further than that to go when he made his pit stop. So if they got it full, which they probably did, they changed tires and it was not too low in fuel, so they should have been able to get it full. So he should be able to go the rest of the way. Time will tell.
Now, we mentioned Charlie Glotzback through all his years of racing has never won at Atlanta Raceway. His best finish was 4th here when he was substituting for Leroy Yarborough years ago. But Leroy Yarborough was driving for the legendary Junior Johnson. And Charlie said, of all my years, I've never won at this tough racetrack. And I would like to win it here. There's Bill Venturini coming right at you, the car number 35. And what a great day he has had. A tremendous comeback. He has worked so hard to come back from that injury at Michigan a year ago when he broke 2 vertebrae in his neck, was in a halo apparatus and flat on his back for about 6 months. One of the best drivers in the business, not on the speedways and the short tracks. Would like to be able to get his Winston Cup operation going. Former ARCA Series champion, a 2-time winner here at Atlanta Raceway. And also one of the nicest guys you want to meet around the racetrack, Ned.
He certainly is, no question about it. Scott Stovall has moved into second place now, Jerry, as we watch Venturini's car go into turn 1. But Stovall has yet to make a pit stop, but he made a pit stop on that caution flag when Glotzback came in just as the green flag was coming back out. Stovall had made one a little bit earlier, so he might be able to go the rest of the way as well.
There's Glotzback going out of your picture, and we'll check and see Scott Stovall coming in just momentarily in the car number 0. There he comes, just out of turn 4, coming right at you.
So Glotzback has a pretty good lead, in fact, about a third of the lap.
Now, how successful has Charlie Glotzback been this year in ARCA competition? As you look at the second place car there, Scott Stovall. Well, Glotzback has finished third twice. He's finished second twice. And he won the race at Talladega in July. So 2 seconds, 2 thirds, and a win. Not bad in 6 starts.
That's a pretty good average, no question about it.
See Scott Stovall going by the 37. That's Glenn Brewer. He's the older brother of Tim Brewer, the Lisbon Cup crew chief of Junior Johnson's operation. And Glenn Brewer today will win the STP Prestone Rookie of the Year award for ARCA for 1990. So a great, our accolades to the car number 37 there. That's Glenn Brewer and winning Rookie of the Year.
Car had Budweiser on it, and of course Junior Johnson's car that Tim Brewer as a crew chief owned has Budweiser. I reckon there's any connection there other than the brothers.
Oh, I wonder. Charging Charlie Glotzback, and boy, he always puts on a show on anything he ever runs there. Now, we were talking about could they make it on gas, did they get it full? Well, the guy who's responsible for getting those cars full, not only on the Saturday shows like today, and also for someone named Earnhardt, is standing by with Benny Parsons.
Chocolate Myers, you're the gas man. Did you get the car full? Yeah, it's full. I don't know whether we're going to go all the way. It's going to be close, but it is full of gas. What did they say? Are you confident you can go the rest of the way? Yeah. Yeah, right. That's the same answer I got from Cecil Gordon.
He's a man of few words, isn't he?
That was pretty confident.
He makes them count. Remember, he caught that bullet in his teeth out in Phoenix a few weeks ago, so he's one tough customer. Battling there, that's Venturini and Chris Gerke. That's a battle for 4th spot. Gerke currently being shown in 4th. Venturini now trying to run him down and take the spot away. Both those cars are being shown 1 lap down.
Art Seeger's in the pits. He hit the wall on the last lap. No major damage, but it did cause him to come in the pits. Art had been running in 10th place in the Nestle's Crutch Chevrolet. And I believe this was his first race. We don't have people running their first race in ARCA competition, but Seeger, I believe, running his first race today.
Indeed. He rented this car from Bob Schacht, and it was an old John Alexander car, and it was a 1-race deal with Nestle's, and he just got this car a week ago. It's his first ARCA start, his first time on a super speedway. And while we mentioned Bob Schacht, we got to give our congratulations to his wife, Patty Simcoe, who delivered Priscilla and Schacht. Remember, we saw Patty Simcoe at the Pocono. She was pregnant, and last year she was in this ARCA race, had a top 5 finish, but she's now a proud mother of a little 8-pound, 8-ounce baby girl.
That's great.
Charlie Glotzback showing the way in Atlanta Motor Speedway. 186 laps complete. They're winding down. Yes, there's Old Glory. Stay with us.
And that confidence level he has given me a lot of confidence that he'll be able to make it as well. Jerry, and let's remind the fans that he went a lap down at one point when a tire went flat during a caution, and sometimes it's tough to feel if you have a flat tire with the interliners on these cars that they run on the super speedways, and Glotzback didn't feel it until the green was about to come out, and he came in and he went a lap down, came up past the leaders, and really has not had the benefit of a caution since then to get back into the lead. However, everyone in front of him has stopped for fuel and/or tires, but the Glotzback is trying to go the rest of the way without stopping, but he has gotten back in front after being a lap down.
Showing 190 laps complete, 14 laps to go for Charlie Glotzback. He leads Dorsey Schrader, currently in 2nd spot. There is Glotzback out of turn 4. Schrader is our 2nd place car. Scott Stovall is the 3rd place car. And now we'll look for our 2nd place car. Car number 69 coming out there. We'll look for Dorsey Schrader's Ford Thunderbird. Bright red, white thermal car number 69. There he is, headed down in turn 1. So quite a differential between the leader and the 2nd place car.
About 2/3 of a lap, Jerry. So I think if Glotzback is able to go the rest of the way, which we feel he will be able to as far as fuel is concerned, and Schrader, about his only hope is that something happens to Glotzback, because don't think he's going to be able to catch him. However, you've got to hand it to Schrader. He has driven a great race here today, finding himself in second place, and I'm sure that he would be happy with that kind of a finish, especially his first race in ARCA competition.
And if you joined us late, you missed a tremendous performance by young Robbie Gordon, who put his car on the pole and had a great afternoon going until he got into some speedy drive turns where he hit the wall and had some problems with the rear end.
Well, here's Chocolate. He's got his helmet on, and he's got a gas can laying over there. It looks like it's ready to go. That's Chocolate Myers under that helmet. He's the gas man. And he's ready, at least. If they bring him in, by golly, he'll be up over that wall and put a dash in there.
You saw the one crew member hold up 2 hands full. He said 10 laps to go this time. They're counting the laps down, but they've got to be a little bit concerned to know that car's got a lot of horsepower, and the more horsepower you have, the more fuel you drink.
Absolutely. He's burning it up. Here's Dorsey Schrader moving around the car number 35 of Venturini. We understand that maybe Venturini's crew thinks he's on the lead lap, but he changed 4 tires on his pit stop. Dorsey Schrader was in the pit, stopped for only 7 seconds to take on 1 can of fuel. Now, we're talking about Glotzback being close on fuel. I personally think that Dorsey Schrader's going to be pretty close on fuel, because he had about 35 laps to go when he just took on 10 gallons of fuel.
7 seconds is a lot to get fuel in that car. Probably about 6 or 7 gallons is about all you. I guess you can get a tank in it. You get 11 gallons in about 14 seconds to 15, I guess.
No, I think they got it where they're doing a little quicker than that now, Jerry. They can get the first can in, especially under 10 seconds, but the second can goes in a little bit slower.
So a question mark there in Dorsey Schrader's crew. He's currently running in second spot. A great afternoon for him.
And of course, Scott Stovall, who is running in third place, he has yet to stop since that caution. Will he be able to make it and hold on to that third place? So a lot of ifs here.
Charlie Glotzback, we are being told by our spotters, has slowed considerably as far as his lap times are concerned, because these guys here in the pits are concerned. Apparently Glotzback trying to conserve fuel.
Well, you know, that could be good or bad. It's smart to slow down to conserve fuel, but he had about a 2/3 of a lap lead. He might have been able to get in and out and get a dash of fuel and still maintain the lead. I sort of doubt it, though. It's awfully tough when you slow down, come into the pits, even though if you were not stopped for only for 2 or 3 or 4 seconds, till you get your speed back up, then it would be awfully tough to maintain the lead. Let's see just how far ahead he is.
There is Glotzback crossing the start-finish line, and we'll check and see where Dorsey Schrader is. Schrader now coming into your picture, 10.5 seconds.
Well, he has picked up some, so that does indicate that Glotzback has slowed down. He definitely could not come into the pits now and take on any fuel and get back out in front of Schrader. So he's got to conserve it now and just hope she'll last till the end.
Talking about fuel, our calculators up here in the booth have been doing some calculating, and they tell us that Scott Stovall is going to be very, very close, Ned, on fuel.
Yeah, he had about 105 miles to go when he stopped, and so it will be close as far as he's concerned.
Well, he's closing it up a little bit on our leader. Remember, Glotzback is concerned about fuel, but he may run out of time, and he may run out of laps as the laps are winding down. It'll be 5 laps to go next time by for Charlie Glotzback.
Yeah, he's nursing it now. He has slowed the engine RPMs down. He might have been running maybe 8,000, 8,200 before. I'll bet he's down to 7,500 RPMs or less right now. Now, it's 10.5 seconds before, Jerry, when we checked him. Let's see what it is now as Schrader comes off of turn 4 and down to the start-finish line.
9 seconds, so he's put a second, more than a second off in 1 lap. But he's only got about 5 laps to go. That means he can still win it by 4 seconds unless he really has to slow it down in a hurry. Schrader doing everything he can. He has nothing to lose to pull out all the stops and just hold it down.
Yeah, he's not conserving fuel. Whether he needs to or not, I don't know. I mean, that was just my personal opinion that maybe he might be close on fuel, just taking on that 1 can, but maybe not. There might not be any problem there at all with him, but he's certainly not conserving any.
4 laps to go for the Sellersburg, Indiana driver to pick up his first ever win at Atlanta Motor Speedway. The Goodrich crew watching anxiously, waiting, hoping that their driver does not come on the radio and say, Fuel pressure, fuel pressure. That's about all he would tell them, and they would know what he meant.
That's exactly what he would say, and he's watching that fuel pressure every time he gets on the straightaway. And Scott Stovall, we talked about him. He's in the pits. Third place car. Couldn't quite make it all the way. Well, he didn't even get stopped, did he? They probably were not expecting him, but I thought that maybe he was out of fuel and had to come in. Benny, what's going on down there?
Ned, I think you're right. I think he was out of fuel and needed to stop, but he brought it in too hot. He could not get the car stopped, and he chose the wise thing. He decided to go around the racetrack and try to get back in the next time. Otherwise, he would probably hit someone and hurt them.
I've heard of gas and goes, but that was a go and go.
It sure was, and I guess he's going to be able to get back to the pits. But boy, this is going to be costly for Scott Stovall, who was running in third place, and now he has dropped all the way off the scoreboard, which shows the top 5 here at the Atlanta Motor Speedway.
Well, there were only 3 cars in the lead lap, but he will possibly lose a lap as our leader now. Glotzback will come by. This time we will look for Glotzback to get the white flag, signifying the final lap here. Can he hang on? He is really backed off the pace big time now, up in turns 3 and 4 in the Chevrolet. White flag waving for our leader, Charlie Glotzback. What's the interval now? Schrader coming in a big hurry.
Well, he has really closed. We didn't get the clock on him that time, but it's down to perhaps about 3 seconds. And Glotzback running awfully low off of the turn over there. Maybe that's by design. I believe he's out of fuel, Jerry.
He is slowing. Glotzback is slowing. Schrader is coming. It's 15 car lengths up in turn 3. A couple of cars between them. 12 car lengths as Schrader is hurrying. Glotzback trying to get every ounce of fuel out of the car out of turn 4. Schrader makes it 10 car lengths. He will run out of time, and Charlie Glotzback will win it here at Atlanta Motor Speedway. What a, boy, they are celebrating in the Goodrich pit.
Well, I bet there's a little bit of sweat on the brow there, too, as they celebrate.
I tell you, whoever did the calculations didn't leave them much at all. There is charging Charlie Glotzback, who had never won here before, apparently telling his crew in that final lap that they must have been just about out. Let's go to Benny Parsons.
Chauncey, you were right. You had enough fuel. Yeah, you know, we're real close there at the end. We're about 62 laps. Just kind of worried about it. I don't know how much is in it now, not much. I'm just glad we made it. Did he run out of fuel coming off the second corner? We told him to slow down a little bit, try to save a little bit of fuel. I don't know. I didn't hear him say anything on the radio. I don't think he ran out, but we're awful close. It was a close one down here in the pits, guys.